Hey, what's up everybody? True Boxing here. Thank you for coming back to get hit with the truth. So today we are doing the 2023 year-end top, or mid-year top 10s. I'm sorry, mid-year top 10s. As we take a look at the 147-pound welterweight division after 6 months and evaluate how that division has gone so far and what it's going to be doing moving forward, and give you a look at how my top 10 is looking right now. Now, before we get into that, if you guys could smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I really do appreciate any and all support that I can get as I try to build my channel up here. And if you don't like what I'm doing, you could always leave me a thumbs down or a comment letting me know why. Well, 147 here, the mid-year top 10. Again, these aren't official. My official ones are at the end of the year. But this is basically how my top 10s are going heading into the second half of 2023 here. I really enjoy doing my top 10s. It's the thing that I originally started basing all my boxing stuff off of. All my boxing opinions in my page off of was all my top 10s that I used to just do in my head all the time because I'm that big of a fan of boxing. But now the mid-years, let's get into it at welterweight. As everybody's been doing the Spence Crawford dance that they don't need to do anymore because that fight's going to happen. We'll get into that in a little bit. But let's start with the only guy that dropped out of the top 10 from last year, and that is Rashidi Ellis. He entered the year number 10. He was undefeated, and then he ran into Romain Villa on the Tank Davis versus Hector Luis Garcia undercard at the beginning of the year, and he got defeated by a 10-round majority decision. Crushing loss for Ellis, but hopefully in the second half of the year he gets back into the mix and throws himself back into the hunt. Number 10 is the guy that beat Rashidi Ellis, Romain Villa. Villa came into the year not ranked. He was just supposed to be a guy that Ellis was gonna test himself against, and stay busy against. And he was able to outwork Ellis to a 10-round majority decision. Big win. He's the IBF's number 2 contender, and this Saturday, July 8th, he has a golden opportunity as he challenges for the IBF interim title, and pretty much the IBF title altogether, because he is going to face Jerome Boots Ennis for the interim belt. And the reason I say pretty much the IBF title, because I don't believe whoever comes out of the Crawford-Spence showdowns, I don't believe they're going to fight the IBF champion, the IBF interim champion, in a mandatory fight next. I think they'll be willing, as long as one guy declares himself undisputed, they're going to be willing to give up 1 or 2 of the belts in order to move up or do whatever they want to do. And I think whoever comes out of this fight is going to be the next IBF champion. Now, Romain Villa is a big underdog coming in against Boots, but he's got a fantastic knockout ratio. I think he's 26-1 with 24 knockouts. The dude finishes most people, and Boots does not need to overlook him. If he does, that could be a very, very big mistake, but we'll see what happens this July 8th. I think Boots is going to win, but Romain Villa has his opportunity, and let's see if he can cash in on it. Number 9 is undefeated contender Cody Crowley. Now, Crowley came in number 9. He hadn't fought since April of last year. He was dealing with the death of his father, who had committed suicide, sadly. And he came in and took on former world title challenger Abel Ramos, veteran, and he had to work his ass off in that fight. That was a good, tough battle for Cody Crowley, but he passed the test, defeated Ramos by a 12-round majority decision, and stayed undefeated and in the mix. And I think Cody Crowley's going to get a crack at something. He's a WBC and WBO's number 2 contender, and I really think as things start to loosen up here at welterweight, he's gonna get opportunities to fight other guys. So we'll see what happens. Again, I'm looking forward to seeing what he does next in the second half of the year and what opportunities he gets, especially with the PBC. Number 8 is former champion Radzab Butayev. Butayev has not fought this year. He came in number 7. He drops to number 8. He hasn't fought since the loss to Imantas Stanionis last year by a split decision. So I'm hoping we see him back sometime soon. He's a WBA's number 3 contender, and I'm hoping he can get some kind of an eliminator against somebody like a Cody Crowley and continue to work towards the top of the division. He's with the PBC, so he has options. We'll see what happens. Number 7, moving up one spot from number 8, is Virgil Ortiz, the undefeated contender. He's the WBA's number 1 ranked contender, and he was supposed to have that big showdown finally happen with Imantas Stanionis. Injury or something kept postponed the fight from April. And I just read this in the last 15 minutes. Virgil Ortiz and Imantas Stanionis is not happening, as it is postponed again. Apparently Ortiz fainted and had to be hospitalized. He might be having weight issues, and he might have to move to 154. So the fight is postponed again. It's supposed to happen, but who knows when or if it is going to happen now that it's going to be postponed a second time. So that's it on that. Number 6 is Imantas Stanionis, the WBA, undefeated WBA regular champion. He's still number 6. He came in number 6 and hasn't fought because he was trying to get that fight locked down with Ortiz. As I just mentioned, they were supposed to fight in April. It got postponed, and they were supposed to fight this weekend on July 8th. And again, it's getting postponed. So who knows what's going to happen with Stanionis. Hopefully he can move on and fight somebody good next, but we don't know. Number 5 is former unified champion Keith one-time Thurman. He remains number 5, even though he hasn't fought in close to a year and a half again. But he's the WBC's number 1 ranked contender. And what I just read a couple days ago is it looks like a showdown with Yordenis Ugas is going to happen for Thurman. And it looks like sometime in August they're trying to lock it down. So that's just next month. So that's a big deal, and I'm hoping that that's what happens. I would favor Ugas in that fight, but I wouldn't be surprised if Thurman beats him. So the winner of that fight's really going to have some clout moving into the second half of the year, and I'm looking forward to seeing if they can lock down that fight. It looks like it's going to go down. Number 4 is Yordenis Ugas, the former champion. He drops one spot from number 3. He hasn't yet fought this year. He hasn't fought since he got stopped against Errol Spence last year in a unification bout. But again, it looks like he's going to be fighting Keith Thurman. Looks like in August. That's going to be big. I hope that that's what takes place and goes down, because that's a big-time fight. He's number 3 in the WBC right now, so a win there is going to pretty much guarantee a title shot for the winner. And, hopefully we see, maybe it'll be for the interim title. Who knows? But it should be good to see that fight. And I would favor Ugas, but again, I think Thurman stands a chance, and I think it's going to be good. Number 3 is Jaron Boots Ennis. He moves up one spot from number 4. He started the year off fighting for the vacant interim title against some Russian fighter named Kadon something. I forget his last name. But the guy pretty much ran from Boots on the Tank Davis, Hector Luis Garcia undercard. He ran from him the whole fight. Boots had to chase him around the ring. Boots walked away with a one-sided 12-round decision and became the IBF interim champion. Now, Boots, July 8th, this weekend, is going to face Romain Villa, who beat Rashidi Ellis. I think Boots is going to beat him, and I wouldn't be surprised if Boots is your IBF champion before the end of the year, because whoever comes out of the Spence Crawford undisputed title fight, unless all the governing bodies allow a second fight to happen between the two without the mandatories getting a crack first, then I think one of the belts that the winner is going to be willing to give up is the IBF title, and Boots will be upgraded to full champion, and then he really can start dictating terms a little bit more in this division of 147. So we'll see what happens. Number 2, still number 2, is the undefeated WBO champion Terrence Bud Crawford. He is returning here on. He's going to be returning against Errol Spence Jr., who's number 1. That fight takes place on Saturday, July 29th. Showtime pay-per-view. The undisputed welterweight title is on the line, and finally will be decided between these two kings of the sport. Spence came in number 1. He's the unified champion. He holds the other 3 titles. Crawford, the WBO champion. This is a big-time, major showdown between these two. I can't wait to see what happens. There's an automatic rematch clause in the contract for the loser, so we could see this fight happen You could see a rematch of this fight. Also, you know, yeah, the rematch could happen before the end of the year also. So a lot of big things are going to unfold here at welterweight because Spence and Crawford are finally fighting each other. And we're going to see, hopefully by the end of the year, we're going to see not only a new king of welterweight, but we could be seeing the division completely turn over to all these guys who have been waiting in the wings. A lot of talented fighters who've been waiting in the wings. The division could be turning over to them, and some more exciting fights, and hopefully a more active division at welterweight is going to come forward once Spence and Crawford, once the smoke clears. So we'll see what happens, but that's it. That's what I got. That's the 2023 mid-year top 10s on the 147-pound welterweight division. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash the like button, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate any and all support. This is True Boxing. You've been hit with the truth.